Ho, 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 ho. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, da boo boo. We'll start at 8:22. Oh, ho, 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 ho. All right, we're getting close. 2 minutes. I hear the bells ringing. All right. 822. 822. Let's go. Hey, look at that. That doesn't look like my camera. Maybe it's a big improvement. Hey, everybody. What we're going to do today is we're going to go over, we got our weekly jobless claims, but we also want to go over some of our macro, get an update on headline news that's come out in the last few minutes. We want to then look at gold, Bitcoin, S&P 500, 10-year T-note, euro, dollar, etc., etc., etc. And we can even do a, how do we say it, viewer's choice. Yeah, so get ready for your hour of power, or could be a half an hour of power. We'll see. Let me remind you that trading is risky, not appropriate for everyone. Your past performance, good or bad, is not necessarily indicative of future results. Please stay small, stay humble, focus on the long term, and never, ever, ever slim shady. Risk money you cannot afford to lose. Chicka, chicka, chicka. All right, let's see if the camera loads on this one. No? Really? How rude. All right, so we got a camera problem. I suppose that's not the worst thing in the world. You know what? Let's see. It should work. Deactivate. Activate. Ah! When in doubt, turn it off, turn it back on. Yeah. All right, cool. So, welcome. It is what, 24? 8:24 at 8:30 we got news. So welcome to Forex.Today. There's 21,000 of us. Cool. Very good to be here. You should be using TRADARS and Trader's Way. The perfect combo. I updated this a little bit. And so anyways, let's get to the fundamentals. We will do employment, weekly claims. See, TRADARS is a database, so you can manipulate these as you see fit so that you can understand the true underlying intrinsic trend. Claims has been trending. If you go back all the way to 2023, you have an average of 219. If we reverse it a little bit and go back 3 months, 233, rising slightly, huh? Sometimes I like to cut the corner a little bit, and 237. Okay, so we were rising. It has been so bad lately, but this is important because we have ADP down, NFP up. It's a complicated world, right? Yeah, I keep watching the time. Sorry. Complicated world. So this just kind of shows us the direction. It has been going up. People are worried about the trend going up. The last few weeks have been not so bad. So we were pushing 250 and now we're like 230. So if it comes out 240, 250, okay, well, the employment market is slowing. If it drops below 230, like 225, all of a sudden the employment market's not as bad and the Fed doesn't need to cut and Will that change the value of the dollar, and will that change the direction of the stock market? Yeah. Yeah, is the answer. Monetary policy matters. So that's how to put things into perspective of where we are and where we're going. So the magic number is 237, I thought, that I had. So anyways, let's go out to get ready for the news to be released. It's about
Copper
2 minutes
traders
away.
look to Chinese buyers in post-Trump tariff world.
Bitcoin price forecast. BTC eyes $120,000 as prospects of Fed rate cuts fuel market optimism. U.S. Weekly initial jobless claims coming up next. Oil edges down amid bearish Trump tariff outlook. The U.S. dollar is little changes versus the euro, yen, and pound to kickstart the new trading day. U.S. again halts cattle imports from Mexico over screwworm pest.
Forex Live European FX News Wrap. Quiet markets awaiting more trade and tariff developments.
Euro-U.S. dollar extends losses with markets cautious amid high trade uncertainty. Turkey industrial production grows most in 5 months. Gold rises for second consecutive day as trade tensions intensify. Cool. So what I did, if you recall, when we were analyzing the fundamentals of the weekly claims, I went back 2 months and got 237 as an average, and the market is expecting 235. So, okay, about the same. About the same. They expect it to go up a little bit. That's the other thing to be paying attention, absolute versus relative. But it was 233. The market's thinking 235. But we know the bigger issue. If it's 240, the Fed has to cut. If it's 220, the Fed can't cut. And so that's what we're looking here. Isn't this cool that this is all live real-time data inside of TRADARS? Yeah, baby, yeah. 45 seconds. How do you feel emotionally? Is it going to be closer to 240 or 220? It's not likely to be either, but what direction? Cool. While that's happening, we'll see how you guys feel about the market in general. Mixed bag. 10 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. $227. Oh no, the Fed can't cut. People aren't going to like it. People are not going to like it. Let's just take a look at let's just do this one. This one. Mark the top. Drop to a fiver, and probably not going to like it. Yeah. We'll see. Yeah. All right. So let's move on to our macro. Macro. Talking about macro. I can see macro. Now my charts are gone. It's going to be a bright trading day. Let the database load. So far, because this is all pre-news, by the way, so The ball just came out. That was a surprise, huh? Way less than expected. Okay. All right. So, anyways, yields have been coming down, but the Fed's not going to cut. That might change. Oil's oil. Oil's down. Makes sense. You probably saw it kick off the monthly M3. Totally makes sense. Good. Neutral. S&P 500 was up. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but now maybe the Fed can't cut. Dollar, are we going to risk off today? We'll find out. And Bitcoin, I got to check the coin. But check this out. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. Right? Look, it's so beautiful. Right off the pivot. You see it? Now 50% retracement. Oh, Lord. All right, but that's not macro. I'm just checking that out. I also want to just eyeball on the commodity side. I have my biddy. There's the monthly M3, by the way. Got to know these things. United States continuing jobless, claims below forecasts, want bias to eat. In June 27th, actual 1.965.
U.S. weekly initial jobs claims 227K versus 235K expected.
United States initial jobless claims 4-week average down to 235 half K in July 4 from previous 241 half K. Hang on, I want to take profit on my bid. This one can't continue to watch. Uh, 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 uh. All right. Talk about yourself. I don't have time. I'll do it later, I guess. Oh, no, that one. Hang on. I got it. Sell 1 billion. All right. Hang on. They're trying to trick me. God. Sorry. I have to do it. All right. I'll have to piss around with that later. So I just had to get out of that. All right. Sorry. All right, so what were we doing? Oh, sorry, we were doing macro. Sorry. Slightly risk on currently. Risk on still here. Swissies. So those might be something that we want to take a look at. Aussie Swissy down, CAD Swissy down, Pound Swissy down, USD Swissy down, Euro Swissy down. Now, these were up earlier today, as you can see by our scatter plot. I analyzed this quite closely earlier today. I mean, it's so easy to do. Everybody's trying to please me, baby. So, see Swissy's weak, Swissy's weak, Swissy's weak, Swissy's weak, Swissy's weak. So that might be changing. And notice they all have negative scores anyways. Yeah. Cool. So anyways, that's our macro update with me pissing around with Bitcoin too. My apologies for that. Papa had to go to work. All right, so euro dollar, we're going to do, I like to do technicals, obviously, and in particular look at the patterns, right? Use TRADARS for pattern recognition. But of course, you can do the fundamentals in the macro. Okay, as well, so that you can start planning. Yeah. And then you go to the technicals. But you have to know if you're bullish or bearish, up or down, sideways. So analyzing 5 time frames with 20 different things per time frame. That's 100 charts. There's only one thing going on right now for euro dollar that's interesting. And there's a down move with an up leg, and so I'll pass. Now maybe something changes.
US initial jobless claims dropped to 227K last week.
So maybe something changes because of the weekly claims and the idea that the Fed can't cut in September and all that kind of stuff. But what I can share with you is the top 20 reliable, repeatable patterns don't exist yet on those time frames. So maybe that is true. So maybe later. Just not now. So, okay. So kind of a mixed bag, down with an up. All right. Well, I'd rather catch a trend. Bitcoin. What's going on the Bitcoin? Is it going up, down, or sideways? Well, let's take a look. Bitcoin seems to be consolidating on a 30-minute, consolidating on the 60-minute with a threat to the downside. Oh my God, I just got out. Yeah. Now on the longer run, and that's what this is. And by the way, if you ever want to zoom in, you can just do that. Cool. See how easy this is? Everybody's trying to please me, baby. Okay. Right? So you could do one of these things if you're going to be longer term. I didn't want to be too long term on my position, but that's what that says on the 4/8 for Bitcoin. Okay, so you could use the role reversal, which is price action, or you can use the moving average, which is a momentum, right? So price action, momentum. Okay, fine. So it might go up. Yep, true that. But I don't want it to fall for 12 hours first. So anyway, so that's why I handled that. Mine was a short-term trade. The cool thing is we can look at all those time frames, analyze 100 scenarios, and it only takes seconds. Treasury market, is money going into the market or is money going out of the market? Okay, we're in the middle of the yield curve. We need to know the direction. Well, the interesting thing is this could be adversely affected now by the weekly claims. See how important weekly claims are? This could be affected because if the Fed's not going to cut, then maybe you don't want to buy these. Because if they were going to cut through OCOs, which means the Fed buys bonds, then you want to front run them by buying it, yesterday or later today. And you buy, and then in September, October, November, December, January, the Fed keeps buying, and you bought it way down here. But if you found out that those open market operations are not going to occur, then fundamentally this is more likely. So again, this would be the idea of the Fed cutting. And if the market opinion changes, the direction on that will change. And that's why, so if this means price down, if we drop from 113 down to 109, that means yields are going up. Yeah, and that's not good. So it's good to know. So this is all based, like this was 3 hours ago. This was 6 days ago. Maybe things have changed. But notice the move on from 6 days ago. Okay. It said, 6 days ago, it said, we're going to get down to this zone. And what does that mean to you if you're a bull? Okay. It means 6 days ago, you were given a heads up, and yesterday you should have been ready, willing, and able. Will it work? See, you never know if that was a good trade, but that happened yesterday. So the threat is now we kick it off the moving average and this pattern fails. And now it becomes bearish. Remember, this isn't a prediction. It's just doing pattern recognition. You have to know how to trade. Yeah. Anyways, that's the 10-year T-note. Site price forecast. Technical breakout aims for $4, supported by TVL growth. Silver price forecast. Silver US dollar steadies after 3-day decline.
Gold prices marginally up. COMEX copper soars on Trump's 50% tariffs. U.S. initial jobless claims dropped to 227K last week.
United States continuing jobless, claims below forecasts, want bias to eat. In June 27th, actual 1.965.
U.S. weekly initial jobs claims 227K versus 235K expected.
United States initial jobless claims 4-week average down to 235.5K in July 4 from previous 241.5K.
Copper traders look to Chinese buyers in post-Trump tariff world.
Bitcoin price forecast. BTC eyes $120,000 as prospects of Fed rate cuts fuel market optimism. U.S. weekly initial jobless claims coming up next. So that was a summary, and that happens at the 45 and the 15. So every 30 minutes there's an update. Yeah. All right, so let's take a look at gold. Okay. Gold flag. Okay. So it's 21 hours ago. Holy smoke. 21 hours ago, you were given the heads up when we were here of an upward leg. Okay, but this has not broken out yet. This will not become bullish until we get above these zones here. So all this chart is showing you, or what the pattern is showing you, is the trend is down, but the next leg is up. Because even downtrends have ups. So a downtrend, let me do this in sort of, yes, burgundy. Lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower. Notice that even downtrends have ups. So it's just saying the next leg is up in a downtrend. That's all. Now, if you're truly a bull on gold, what you're looking for here is a higher high, higher low. You don't buy lower lows. What are you? A nincompoop or a bull? Bulls do not buy lower lows. Okay? So if you buy a lower low, you don't know what you're doing. So if you're going to be a bull, we need to observe something like that. And you want to be trading trends that look like this. Okay? Anywho, enough of that. Gold on the daily is more down than up. So 2 days ago, you got the heads up of a lower high likely forming after a lower low. Is that a reliable, repeatable trend? That's kind of what it looks like. Is it going to happen? We don't know. That's not a signal. This is simply you asking your technical analyst to analyze all the gold charts, looking for the top 20 trending and reversal patterns on all time frames, and report back to you. And they're like, well, if you go out to the daily, we did make a lower low, lower high. Now you're the boss. You have to decide what to do with that. This says more likely down, and you got the heads up 2 days ago. So now what? So yesterday maybe you get a bearish candle, and then a slight green candle, and then a new bearish candle. Okay? You know what we call that? Pullback. Cool. Okay? And we've seen this for a while. This is suggesting even if gold goes higher, there's a high propensity for it to then fall. Whatever. We're just caught here right now. Because the 4 hours projected the top out, and the daily is expected to drop. So what would you do now if this started to roll over on your charts? Now, maybe all of this is obsolete because all of this occurred before the weekly jobless claim. So maybe that changed everything. Yeah, it's possible. So at least you know to go to your charts, and if it's making higher highs and higher lows, don't sell it. But if it's rolled over, oh yeah. Okay. Gold's going to drop, I don't know, 150, 200 bucks. Oh.
Pi Network Price Forecast. Buying pressure resurfaces amid Pi Node's new version launch. U.S. weekly jobless claims unexpectedly edge lower.
Bay Street seen opening on mixed note. Okay, S&P 500. What do you guys think? S&P 500. By the way, do you like this squawk? I know it interrupts me from time to time, but we have a 24-hour-a-day live news squawk that gets headline news from a lot of different Forex focused, investing focused, trading focused websites. Okay. When I used a Squawk Box, I used tradethenews.com, and it was, what was it, 300 a month or 400? 399 kind of rings a bell. But let's say 300 bucks. Well, TRADARS is only $200 a month, and it includes a 24-hour Squawk and real-time news, as you just saw. That ain't bad. That's a nice little perk. Yeah. Nice little perk. All right, let's take a look at the S&P 500. Okay. Bullish, maybe a potential breakout. Okay. So I look at it slightly different. I'm going to put this as consolidation with the potential for a break. In particular, so this came out an hour ago before the claims, and then remember, I thought immediately down, didn't I? Yeah, looks like I made a good choice on the Bitcoin. Hey, can't go broke cashing out. All right. Yeah, here we are. Look at that. Gorgeous. Okay, the one in the middle predicts the one in the middle. Again, just simply pattern recognition. Now, we got caught on the 121.4. Remember, I'm the only person in the world that uses 121.4. If you know another YouTube guru using 121.4, it's because I taught them how to trade. So you might as well just come to my stream. Huh? Learn from the goat's mouth? Direct from the goat's mouth. No horses here. Anyways, what do we got here on the hourly? Interesting. So we have a bullish trend with an up leg. That was, again, an hour ago, potentially an opportunity. Maybe news has collapsed it. We'll find out. And then on the 15-minute chart, says the same thing as the 30-minute. It's really consolidating, so you shouldn't be super excited. But when you add the fundies, okay, and behavioral finance. So fundies say jobs up, jobs up. And you're like, no, it was low unemployment claims. Yeah, so less people lost jobs. Jobs up. Job market improvement, if you want to do like job market, the jobs market is not as bad as people need it, were feared. So therefore, the Fed doesn't have to cut. Okay, now that's behavioral finance. Beehive. Uh, finance. Yes. If you make less than $1 million a year, you're in finance. If you make more than $1 million a year, you're in finance. So, anyways, yeah. So the behavioral finance aspect of this is okay. An hour ago, that's what the chart said, which has nothing to do with the fundies, because we didn't know the jobs market was less bad. Therefore, we couldn't make a behavioral finance prediction. But since the news has come out, it's increased the probability. We still don't know the future, but it's increased the probability of no longer up. Okay, so now you got to be ready for this kind of stuff and change your primary line. Okay, in this case, the primary line, oops. Okay, this is the primary. This is the primary. So what does that mean? Change your primary line. you're anticipating
US dollar
a
Swiss
change
franc
in
moves
trend.
back above 200 100-hour MAs as buyers take back more control.
Euro US dollar price forecast fears keep the pair ranging.
Okay. That pattern, it's the same pattern, multiple time frames, 15-minute, 30-minute, 60-minute, is something that you have to be cognizant about. It didn't exist an hour ago. It might exist now. We don't know the impact, but there's certain macroeconomic assumptions. Okay. Cool. So how did we do? Was that good? All right, so let's do viewer's choice. What chart would you like me to analyze today? Viewer's choice. Go ahead and let me know. It could be a stock indice. Shoot, even a stock. You're like, I want to know NVIDIA. All right, well, okay. Gold, oil, platinum, palladium, Dow, DAX, FTSE, Aussie, Swiss franc, Euro, pound. Ripple. How can I help? Hmm? Talk to me, Goose. Hello? I'm sure there's a delay, but come on. Are we done then? All right, well, let us do this this way. If I go to fundamentals, oh yeah, we can do exotics. Yeah, corn. Good call, Lucas. I don't have corn, but that would be interesting. I wonder if I could put that on the COT for you. What should we be looking at today? If you go to the scatter plot, that'll answer. Okay, like copper and platinum are way up today, and they're huge outliers. Bitcoin is massively up too, but let's get rid of the commodities because they're such outliers. Okay, so like USD yen, well, that's going to be on a major. So if you look at that, um, uh, okay, not amazing. Is that really what you want to look at? Okay, Aussie strong, Kiwi strong. Aussie strong, Kiwi strong. Kiwi strong, Aussie strong. Aussie strong, Kiwi strong. And you want to look at USD yen? No. Okay, is there a strong risk on message right now? No. Okay, so once again, I don't know if that's something that I would want to look at. Yen's going up, maybe, or at least Aussie and Kiwi. So, for example, let's do this. I can go to settings. See, we have all the majors and the crosses and the yens. So we know Aussie's strong today. We know Kiwi is strong today. So why don't we look at those? See how easy this is?
Russia's central bank reserves dollars rose from previous 687.7 bows to $690.6 bow.
Futures suggest significantly lower open for Wall Street.
That was funny. What did she just say?
Russia's central bank reserves dollars rose from previous 687.7 bows to $690.6 bow.
Zing bob. Oh my goodness, huh? Well, Luis, we do performance coaching every day. And you can ask me every day about that. And others on our team, you can ask them every day. We all have different feedback that we can provide, right? So whether, it's like Brian or David or Jessica or Peter or myself, yeah, that's why we're here. This is why you have a performance coach. Yeah. That's why we do these sessions. Make sure you ask questions and get people's advice. Hmm? Yeah, I'm just looking at the various, see, cool. So anyways, that's why we have performance coaching. So, because that's not an easy question, obviously, for me to answer on the YouTube live stream. What I am trying to get to is, people are asking like, Wayne, look at USDN. Why? Look at Bitcoin. I already looked at Bitcoin. Why do I want to look at it again? In fact, I just bailed out on a Bitcoin trade, right? That should be enough. So what I want you guys to do is make better decisions. I know that's sort of being mean or rude or bitchy or something, but your questions can be informative. And right now they're like, you're asking the wrong questions. And that's why they're informative. Like, really? So we just looked at all this. Aussie and Kiwi's crushing it. And you don't want to talk about Aussie or Kiwi? Okay. Okay. What? Rising wedge 5 hours ago. That might be interesting. Okay. That might be interesting. That might be interesting. Kiwi yen hourly chart. You should be on your hourly chart. Okay. Okay. Look at that. Maybe against CAD, maybe against dollar. Okay. But these are the things that you should be scoping out. So you're like, oh, okay, Aussie yen to, on the 4 hour. Is there an opportunity for me? Wait, so I don't have Aussie. So I'll do Kiwi. Let's just double check. Kiwi. Ooh. Kiwi coming into a profit pattern. Ooh. Profit taking pattern at 88.5. Interesting. Anything else? Yeah, maybe a ride the moving average on Kiwi hourly. All right. So we got to go Kiwi hourly. And the opportunity might be to buy a dip into the moving average. So the chart is set bullish. It's not the most bullish market we've ever seen. And we are not making a higher high. I got you. And we're not making a higher high here. Yeah, I got you. Okay, great. So what's in play is if you're a bull, maybe we have something like that later today and tomorrow. Okay. Yeah, Lewis, I'm sorry. It's just like, you know, the resources are available. Just in a short YouTube live stream, it's just, you know, I can't have you lie on my leather couch and tell me about your childhood. Or I can't ask you if you look into the toilet before you flush. And I'm like, oh, really? That tells me a lot. Right? Uh, it's just too much for a live stream. But how about having help from 5 other professional traders that go through similar challenges now, but also as they developed as traders, went through the same or similar frustrations, and we all dealt with it differently. You're like, dude, that's some serious help. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, so that's that. That's one way of using our tools. Somebody asked about peso. I would rather be interested in peso on a risk on day, but let's play with it anyways. Let's do rand and peso, and we only sell them. Okay. All right. So do we sell that? No. 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 Done. You see? That's how long it takes me. That was 200 different scenarios I just analyzed in 6 seconds. I still had to have the plan and say, well, that's what I'm interested in doing. This doesn't tell you what to do. This helps you plan your strategies fundamentally, technically, and even based on market sentiment. What a cool tool, right? I know. You guys want to? What are you trading today? Tesla and Nvidia. Okay. You ready? Boom. 3, 2, 1. That's it. Nothing on Nvidia. Reversal pattern on a daily Tesla. So even if it goes to 400, it's expected to drop. So it either drops from 300 down, or it can go up to 400 and it's still down. Now, is it a prediction? No. It doesn't know what Elon Musk is going to say in 4 days. It doesn't know earnings or costs. It doesn't know how copper tariffs will affect electric vehicle manufacturers, or the call for the Tesla board to rein in Elon Musk. In fact, it doesn't know anything about political aspirations by its CEO. It's just a pattern. And we call this one a butterfly. It's our a harmonic pattern. So even a higher high is not going to save this. That's the idea. Even a higher high, it's not that it will do it, but even if it does do it, it doesn't change the fact that there's bearishness. But right now, even the more aggressive bearishness is here. So X to A to B, B to C, okay? That's one possible. Or just ride the moving average. Cool. Butterfly Fibonacci pattern identified July 4th at 9:30. This pattern is still in the process of forming. Possible bearish price movement toward target levels. Okay? As low as $231 in the next 3 days. Even if it goes up. I just take this differently. Okay, the way I read it is either this way or I treat it more of a consolidation. We're just not at the apex. Okay, so I read this differently. Okay, you have a scenario like that. That's how I read it. Or why does this pattern form? Well, another way to do it or to think about why the pattern formed is, let's say it does go up here. Okay, there's the possibility of this. So even if the higher high, to change the direction of the chart, if you're going to be a bull, it still needs to make a higher low and probably kick off the support line. And if the trend has been down already, what does that mean? Well, then it means on the highest of time frames, the prevailing trend is a very simple pattern. Down, up, down. And what we're going through now is just a three-wave correction. Because remember, harmonics and Fibonacci and Elliott wave, and then I would even throw in just price action and multiple time frames are all related. So yes, you can download the memorization tool that's below the video here. You just download it. I promise you there's no sales pitch or anything. You just download it, print them out, and you have a cheat sheet. But my goal is to teach you, like, why does it form? And it's just a simple pullback on a higher time frame. And it looks a little messy on the lower time frame. So usually we look at this not on a daily, but let's say, okay, like, let's say this is the daily pattern. And then let me change the color here, size. This harmonic pattern could exist like okay. That's what happens on the hourly. The big one is what happens on the daily. Okay. And these ones are challenging for me. I don't know about you, but one of the challenges I have is recognizing sort of a pattern like that. I'm just not a very good Gartley butterfly harmonic pattern person. Just never have been. But what do I know? If this trend is down, then it's going to consolidate and retrace. And then my job is to figure out when to get back in. And it's usually, okay, after that confirmation, re-enter here. Okay. So I'm not good at spotting the Gartley, never have been. Doesn't mean it doesn't work. Means it works actually a lot. There's a lot of people that are very good at Elliott Wave. Lots of people good at Fibonacci. Lots of people good at harmonics. I'm mediocre, but I end up doing the same thing just for other reasons. So adding these patterns to TRADARS has really helped me be able to read into what the pattern means. And what the pattern means is this has been a downtrend. So even if it makes a higher high, I don't want to buy it because it's a downtrend. Shut the back door. What about NVIDIA? There ain't nothing to look at. No uptrends, no downtrends, no sideways, no Gartleys, no butterflies, no 1, 2, 3s, no nothing. They don't exist. Cool. And we can do this for Google, Microsoft, AMD. Okay, isn't this nice? The Wainanachi. Oh, yeah. Okay. Slight uptrend for Google, buy a dip. Uptrend for Microsoft, buy a dip. Okay. Bullish wedge for Google. It's another scenario, buy the dip. Now, we don't want it lower, but that's the pattern. Buy it off the dotted yellow. So uptrend with an up leg. Maybe ride this 4-hour 21. Could be a rabbit. So imagine your whole trading day is like this, guys. Well, I do want you to imagine that. That's how I want you to trade. Your whole trading day is like this. Okay, look at that. This is important because if the Fed's not going to cut, will the dollar get weak or strong? Oh, I gotta go. I forgot. I got a big meeting coming up. Big meeting. Did you click thumbs up? Oh! So I'm going to move our sessions to this time of day, 8:15 to maybe 9:15, 8:15 to 9. I did a little extra coaching today. Are you trading yens? You know, like, look how awesome. You imagine this? Burning through charts gives you entries and targets and times of day to make the trades and organizes them by best opportunities. Okay. To pound Swissy is not a great time to be trading. And so this is going to change over time. Obviously, everything is pretty much good to trade at the market open. But imagine this is how you're making your decisions now. Okay? And this is updating in real time. Okay? Cool beans, right? Cool beans. Another way, just a little heads up, another way to decide what to be looking at right now is just click on our scalping radar and it's going to identify where all the support and resistance is. Look how gorgeous that is. Don't turn your back on me. So look at this. A breach. Okay. A breach 74% probability it continues down to 185.28. You're like, what? Uh-huh. So it broke. So what's your trade plan? Well, how about up, down, up, down, up, down? And based on that pattern in the past, 74% of the time, it did at least that, maybe even as far as 85. So, hey, I count it as a scalp, but that's a big fat 100 pips. That's moose meat, not rabbit meat. Cool. And two things to just before I go. I'm going to start working on summer school. We'll do it in the early part of August, and then maybe some more later in August. So maybe the first week of August and the last week of August or something, just to spread it out. So keep an eye on that. I'm going to teach you the new mechanisms of the Fed. I explained it earlier today, this morning, at traders.com during our stream there. So I'm going to put that together. The other thing I'm going to try to work on, one of the things I've started to work on, is I'm going to consolidate all our email services, the ones that read the COT report, the ones that watch all the fundamental scores, the ones that watch all the charts to give you technical patterns, and the one that sends out scalping opportunities. So what is that? 4 different emails. I'm going to put them all together into one giant email service and charge like $1 a day. So now you don't even have to log in to review the COT report. You don't even have to log in to see, let's say the top 12 most interesting trade plans. You don't have to log in to check out the fundamentals and go one by one to see what's changed. And if a scalping opportunity pops up, you'll be notified by email in real time. Is that worth $1 a day, all of those? I'd hope so. So like Lewis, he's like, well, he doesn't have the $200 a month for the full service, but maybe $1 a day for all of that is a good place to start. That's my thought. When is the next outlook? I would say as soon as next week. I just got to get a few things off my plate. That's all. And I'm canceling lots of things so that I can focus on us. I'm canceling lots of distractions. Anyways, peace on earth. May the pips be with you.